Right. Yeah, so Wingy, don't be bullied by anybody, Wingy Boxing. You stick to your guns, son. Stick to your guns. Old school journalists in the boxing industry need to stand up and be countered. Now, who's the old guard? Who would you say is the old guard? Trish Dixon. He's done a... Trish Dixon seems to slink around everywhere, doesn't he? He worked at Boxing News. Not my cup of tea. I think he's quite slimy. How he plays one off other. You know, 1 minute he's with one, 1 minute he's with her. And why don't you just say, Trish, what you say to people who I know in the industry? Why don't you say to people what you really think, Trish? Because that article you put out today on Boxing Scene is utter
bullshit.
Trish Dixon's article on BoxingScene.com. Trish, that's not what you were telling my mate the other night. And you know what I'm on about? Utter rubbish. I know you can't print swear words, but you know, Trish, and I know that Jarrell Miller will get blasted out by Joshua. I don't want to hear about all this, he's got a work rate and this and that. Joshua is going to go to America and he's going there to make a statement. So Jarrell Miller will get took out, in my opinion, in 1 round. They're going to want to make a statement. He's going to look to take him clean out. Miller's going to want to shoot out. Right? He'll be ready. He's going to rile Joshua, but he'll run straight through him. Yeah, you said that. He'll run over him, Trish. He'll flatten him. Right? The crowd then will cheer, but then they might boo when Eddie Hearn gets on at microphone. It's a bad fight and you know it, Trish. Now, what you should really say is what you're telling everybody else unofficially. Bullshit. Utter bullshit. It's pure greed. Why don't you just say, Chris, it's about money, it's greed. It's utter greed. Okay, that's great news, brilliant. We're waiting for that. Brilliant. We're waiting for that 2 months. But I'm just filming now, alright, cheers. It's all looking good for the channel. Well, I hope. But it's utter bullshit from Trish Dixon. Ron Lewis, I like Ron Lewis, sat next to him on press table at Bulgaria when Hughie fought. Thought he were alright, but we have had a few spats when I were on Twitter. Used to stick it to Frotch a bit. But Ron Lewis and all the rest of them, Jeff Powell does stick it to Eddie a bit. Gareth A. Davis, he's biggest ball breaker I've ever seen. Biggest rimmer. Buffer's biggest rimmer at the moment. Dan Rayfield, God. Dan Rayfield. You see some of the stuff he comes out with. I can't call him Fat Dan. Not when I'm 220 pound myself, but... And I used to be as big as Fat Dan. You know how fat Dan is? I was as fat as him. Oh, fat as a pig. Fat as a pig. You won't think I used to be 11 stone, did you? Jim Audley in jail. I was fat as a pig. I went from 11 stone to 28. So I can't have a go at Fat Dan about his weight. But now that I'm 180 pound lighter than him, I'm going to call him Fat Dan! Because that's what he is. He's a fat waster. And he needs to get his act together and stop rimming Eddie Hearn. Oh my God. Yeah, we know you've got livings to make and you need a press pass, but say what you think. Don't say one thing to Eddie Hearn and then go chatting to people in the industry what you really think and saying a different thing on channel, on your channels and your articles on ESPN. It's rubbish. Fat Dan, it's a message to you here, Fat Dan. How can you speak to Bob Arum and say you think it's shocking the opponents that Joshua's fighting, and then go and print articles about it being a sellout when we all know tickets have gone on StubHub? Let me read something out to you now. I'm going to read something out to you now. This is from a pal of mine from Barnsley who's an hardcore. Right, listen to this. Here we go, you ready? First things first. First things first, I'm going to put this video on.
This is a call-out video to the fat boy, Jarrell Miller. Get yourself up here, bring 100 grand with you, me and you'll have a fight in the ring. Winner take all, cash. I put you down 7 times in Lancaster, Lancashire. I'll put you down 10 times in Big Bear, California. You fat prick. Get yourself up here anytime, any place, anywhere. If you want to spar or you want a bare knuckle fight, get yourself up here. You fat prick.
There you go. Right. That's Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. Probably the best heavyweight at the moment out there. And right, I'm going to show you some things now. Right, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? StubHub. Right. 736 people, right? When these tickets went on sale, 736 people were looking at them. Yeah? You see that? Right, there you go. This morning it sold 107 tickets, 790 were looking, and 841 people listed on the site. So how can they sell all them thousands when only 841 people were listed? 790 people were viewing, right? It's impossible. Here, next one. This is today, 590 people looking at Anthony Joshua versus Miller. 751 tickets on the site. So have they sold all them thousands? It's only 751 tickets on site. Then we'll go to today's. You can. This is information that you people can get. This is what I've been sent. I have to get that down because if you don't eat for 12 hours your gastric band rubs on you. It's really painful. If pre-sale is done, how can more be released? Exactly. But Eddie Hearn's got such a following. How can you take him on when he's got this following? Right. I should let all the tickets go and then do a video once they've sold them. That's a good point, that, Chris. This was pre-sale, main tickets get released this week, don't they? The Fight Pass members, etc, etc. That's true. As you know, I used to be a... This is when I was a gimp. Oh, I was a Matchroom gimp. I used to put stuff out. Look, I was a Matchroom gimp. But I joined the Resistance. Look, that's the gimp ticket T-shirt. When I was a gimp, I have that there to show that I was ashamed of myself. Paying 30 quid. It was actually my kid's mum that did it for me. She sorted it for me as a treat. Now, what people forget, when we joined this, it was 30 quid a year and you got to pick your tickets, but you give me them for no, fair enough. But they were doing shows, weren't they, him and Coldwell, and they were streaming. They were streaming small old shows. No, not more than 1,500 people ever watched them streams. So, if you're a hardcore fan, and he's saying he's got 13,000 people, even more now, it was 13,000 last year. Paying 30 quid a year, that's nearly 400 grand for 13,000 people. 390 grand. You get your ticket a day before everybody else, and you get to pick it, right? Your ticket. Now they're saying it's not guaranteed. Now, Is there really that many? Or is he just doing it so that he can take all them tickets and say they need them tickets for their Fight Pass people? But is there not really anybody? Because who's going to pay 30 quid a year just to get first choice of your ticket? They're not, are they? I don't think they've got that many. Do you know what I think? If they did, it'd be a phenomenon, wouldn't it? Why don't Matchroom open up their books, like Frank Warren said, and show us how many Fight Pass members you've got? Because I don't think there's 13,000 people that are on a Matchroom Fight Pass. I think there's probably about 1,500, like me. I were one of them. You pay your 30 quid, you get your t-shirt, you get to pick your ticket, and you get to watch the streaming. They've sacked the streaming, so there's no streaming no more. But yet they're still putting all them tickets on Stubble. They were putting 500 a day on. They're doing it so they can say all them tickets are gone to Fight Pass members. It's not our fault if they're putting them on Stubble. But let's say if these Fight Pass members do exist, 13,000 of them. If you've got 13,000 people and they're putting their tickets on Stubble, why don't Eddie Hearn stop it and say this is wrong? Because he's not going to do, is it? He's copying your Fight Pass membership money to get your ticket, and he's copying something off Stubble for you putting it on ticket, and then he's getting sponsored by Stubble as well. Plus they're selling tickets through Gate, so he's getting 4 lots of money for one ticket from you, the fans. He's genius. Eddie Hearn's a genius, isn't he? He's found a loophole around it. Now, the only way to stop it is they've got to open the books, haven't they? Eddie, you've got to open your book. Frank Smith with the spots, not Frank Smith, my pal from Bury. Frank Smith with the spots. I know you're watching this, Frank. Anytime, any place, anywhere. Me and you, Frank, white collar. We can do it at 14 stone 4. No problem, I'll knock £20 off, Frank. I've heard you're about 13 stone, so put a stone on and we'll meet at 14 stone 4, me and you, Frank. And we'll have it, Dennis Hobson's lad against Eddie's lad. Bum, bum, bum. Let's have it. I know you're watching, Frank Smith, you spotty. Oxy 10. Oxecute them, Frank. You know what I hate about spots? You know when you get one there, Frank, and you have to go like that, you always take a load of other blackheads as well. I used to hate that when I was a teenager like you. Umar, IFL Umar. I've got a problem with him as well, because he's not asking right questions as well. He's just going to these boxing press conferences and just rimming. Umar, start asking some proper questions or you'll end up, you know, making yourself unpopular. So we've covered old school journos, haven't we? Yeah, that's it. We're sorting it now. We're back onto 30-minute videos. We've covered old school journos. What about you two guys with press passers? They're now thinking that the journalists, anybody who can get a camera like me with this, I don't think I'm a journalist. I don't class myself as a journalist or even boxing media. I've got my own unique style where I'm quite confrontational and aggressive in how I deliver things. I don't suffer fools gladly. If I think somebody's bullshitting and I think something's not right, that is it. All bets are off, let me tell you. Ask anybody around me here. Ask Nicola. Ask Kev. Ask Dennis Hobson. Ask Dennis Hobson, Glyn Rhodes, any of them. Ask Heath Valley. Ask any of them. If I don't like it, I'm taking my bat and ball home. If I don't like anything. But if I like you as a person, you've got a mate for life, let me tell you. But just looking through this here, 9 out of 10 of these people with their press passes. Oh, YouTube guys with press passes now think they are journalists. 9 out of 10 keep their press passes because they don't want to rock the boat. And I can understand that. But there's rocking the boat, there's not rocking the boat, and there's going missing at press conferences. A lot of these people who are going there, they set the camera up like mine here. They go get a Manfrotto, nice tripod, They go get a nice camera. It's easy to do £1,000, 1,200 quid in on all stuff. Get your microphone, sit it all up, walking around with the t-shirts and hoodies on with the name across. Good luck. I've got no against that. But when you're getting the opportunity, you've got to ask them the proper questions. And if they stop you going to press conferences, so what? Mickey Duff banned Bunsey for years. Mickey Duff, Bunsey used to have to pay to go to press conferences off his own back because his newspaper couldn't get him a press pass, so he couldn't get there. He used to pay off his own pocket, Steve Bunce. You've got to respect that. Steve Bunce has to be respected. If Eddie Hearn says to Coogan, you're not allowed at my press conferences, do you think Coogan's going to fly to New York and hang around outside the venue to speak to people? Is he heck? I can understand it. Well, they don't want to ask certain questions because it's a living, but that Omar IFL looks to me like Dave Caldwell was when Haymaker gave him a job. And a bit probably like when Dennis gave me a job and he said, yeah, Quan, you can work with me, you can learn as long as you behave and that. You know, you're just happy to be there, aren't you? When I first started off with Dennis, for a few weeks I was mesmerised by him. Like when I first met Carl Froch, I was a bit starstruck, you know, and then it wears off then after a bit. And I was like that with Dennis. I used to follow him. Hey, let's not admit it. Anybody will tell you. Ask Dennis. Ask Dennis's missus Sarah. She used to go mad. I'd be following him around like a puppy dog. I'd do out, he said. Or he'd ring me up at a certain hours. Oh, Russ, where are you? I'd be like, oh, I'm in bed. Oh, can you give me a lift? And I'd be, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Oh, come over to Jersey. Fly over to Jersey and keep me company for a few days. I'm bored. And I used to do it. And it's easy to please, but then after a while, penny starts to drop, doesn't it? You think, what is your role? Now, well, a lot of these people, they've been going to these press conferences for a long time now. You've got to start saying, be your own man, aren't you? There's a video on here about Dennis Hobson's last show and I did a review of it. Oh, he didn't go down too well. Oh, I was like that when he rung up. Tell the truth. You've got to tell the truth, because without the truth, it's all murky, innit? And where are we going if we've got no truths? I just told it straight. I hammered him about the kid who I was there. I did the first interview with this kid when he signed for Dennis. He signed in office and he stayed in the same chair, and I interviewed him in my office at Dennis's. Go look on my very first video. All on you, go and look at my very first video and watch the day that the kid signed. And then it took a year for him to, 14 months before he fought, so 13 months. And they put him in with a kid. He got beat. Now, I was really upset. I didn't go to the show because obviously me and Dan had a fallout, but I gave my opinion on his show, and if I could have wanted, I could have dressed it up. It's easy to dress things up, innit? Boxing's very easy to do that, but I just told it straight and I thought, you know what, I'm always going to be like that now. Always going to be like that. Maybe I was a bit easy on Hughie Fury, but I know Hughie Fury got cut and I know what the referee said to him, so I couldn't really dress that up, but he had a bad day at office, didn't he? But when you've had a cut like that earlier on, and it's the same cut that opened up 4 weeks before, you can't be too hard on him. I know what we're going on behind the scenes, but I don't dress anything up. People can say, oh, you dressed it up with Hughie in Bulgaria. No, I didn't. So I know what had gone on. McCauley cut him. But you've got to be true to yourself, and I think that a lot of people, they're just happy to be there. Caldwell, when he got a job with David A, just happy to be there. You're a nodding dog, aren't you? When you've got no money, but even when I had no money, I was never a nodding dog. And there's too many nodding dogs for me in boxing, too many of them. Yeah, I did. I worked with Dennis. I worked with Dennis for over 3 years, but I never took a bean out at boxing. And if I didn't like something, I said so. I've more pride, although many a proud man has ended up with no money and has sat in a prison cell. Pride will get you killed. That's true. Sometimes pride ain't enough. You think Eddie Hearn's bothered about pride and morals and principles when they're banking millions? Do you think Joshua, right? I'm going to tell you now what Joshua will be saying when he sees all this criticism he's getting. He'll just be sat with his mates, laughing their heads off, looking in magazines at buying Ferraris and private jets. They will be laughing, but they'll not do it in public, but they will laugh. And that's just what goes on. They will be laughing their heads off, trust me. But for boxing to change, it's going to need a movement. And that's starting with, well, what? How's boxing going to change? Well, it needs a movement, doesn't it? And that movement's going to be an evening with Porky at Porky's Corner. What do you think to that? Or is that just too cringe? The hardcores are the ones who can change this. Now you have to look in the mirror, don't you? Get up in the morning, have a look in that mirror and say to yourself, am I an hardcore boxing fan? Am I happy with what is going on? And am I just going to comment to Russ's videos and leave it at that? Am I going to go the extra yard? I'm not saying go out and buy a camera and do what I'm doing, because not everybody's in a position to do that. But ask yourself, are you doing enough? Do you want Eddie Hearn's email address? Because when I go through these emails in the next few minutes from the fans, because this channel's for fans, when I go through everybody's emails in a minute, I'm not going to give you Eddie Hearn's phone number. I'm going to give you all Barry Hearn, and I'm going to give you Eddie Hearn's email addresses. That's just 2 emails. I'm going to give you them. And you know who else's email I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you Barney Francis's and Mr. Bean! Beanie! The creepiest man in boxing. I'm going to give you them 4 people's email addresses today from this office. And you tell them that Big Porky's gave you them. Now, I'm doing nothing wrong. You just want to voice your opinion. Now, if you can voice your opinion in a comment to me, why can't you send 4 emails to the people that matter? Now, there'll be 150 tickets going for sale when I do my little gathering in Doncaster, at a place where I'm going to tell everybody soon, but it'll be in June. 150 tickets, and whatever I can do, I will do to get my point across. If only 50 people turn up, it don't matter, we'll have a good night. If 150 come, it'll be brilliant, because that'll be sold out. It's only a small minority, it's 10%. 10%, it's actually 12 tables of 12, so that's 140 people in it, more or less. 10% of people who follow me. But if 10% of my followers come, I will be over the moon and I will be touched. I was thinking, do you know what? These people, they really care about it, because it ain't just about going on social media and saying, yeah, Porky, I agree with you. And I think that's fantastic. People coming on channel and saying, do you know what? I like what you do, Russ, and that, but we've got to take it that one step further now because nobody's listening. So let's start emailing these people 4 emails. If you just do it once a week, it'll get the message across, because I've heard that Adam Smith and Barney Francis are not happy, but the Hearns are not going to tell them that. They're going to have their people on these troll accounts. They're going to have them putting all this fake stuff out. So when Adam Smith goes on Twitter, he's going to think, well, the perception is that Miller's a good fight, when in reality it isn't, is it? So if like 1,400 people send them an email, trust me, that will make a big difference. And if you do care about pay-per-view being 10 quid and not 20 quid, tell them in your email, tell them what you're not happy about. I can only go so far with it. I haven't got the following and the backing to do it, to go full on. that'll all be coming shortly, but the backing. But at the moment, I can only go so far. There's not enough people behind me, but we've tried the billboards. We're trying to get under the skin. We're trying to get the point across. If you love boxing, you will email Adam Smith and Barney Francis today. I can give you Eddie and Barry's email. Eddie won't reply. Barry will reply to you, but he'll just fan you. He'll just give you a load of crap. But as I said earlier, threats and intimidation don't bother me. Don't bother me. I'm ugly enough as it is. Like I said, teeth missing, scars all over head, cheekbones smashed in, Jordan in, bad depression, 20 year on drugs, 7 year on heroin, over 10 year in nick, a year in block, 2 months in a padded cell. I've been 400 pound in weight. I've been on cocaine. You know, I've lost 180 pound. You know, so Tyson Fury's little incident when he went up to 400 pound and just took coke for a couple of years, it's not a side of mine, is it? Because he's a multi-millionaire. So, you know, people go on about his story. It's not half as inspiring as my story, is it, really, when you look at it? Although I'm not getting punched in the head, am I? But, you know, but I have had stuff that's gone on in my life that I believe is a lot worse than his. Can you imagine Tyson doing 10 year in nick? Come on. Can you imagine him doing it? Could he do it? He'd have to do it, wouldn't he? He'd have to do it, but I don't think he could do it myself. I don't think he could do it. You know, but Tyson's story about depression and drugs and weight loss and all that, aside of mine, it's like a tadpole next to a great white shark, isn't it? But, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? But as humans, we adapt, don't we? We pull through. We're creatures of habit. Eddie Hearn's a creature of habit, and he's motivated by one thing. And we know what that is, isn't it? Greed, isn't it? Greed. It's absolute greed. He talks numbers, talks greed, and thinks green. That's what he does. It's about the pound note. And do you know what I mean? When Eddie gets his private jet, and he will get it, trust me, he'll be getting his private jet shortly. When he gets his private jet, everybody then might think, do you know what, he's had us off. But if we're going to start a revolution, I can't do it on my own. I'm going to need your help, the fans' help, because this channel's about the fans, isn't it? I need your help to back me, but we've got to go that one step further. Can't, like I said, it can't just be a few comments on it. It's got to be. We've got to tell him what we think, haven't we? You're not going to get any tweets to Adam Smith. I'll water off a duck's back. It's very rare he tweets, but emails to him. That's a big difference. I've had replies off Barney Francis. Barney Francis' secretary gets them, but if she gets 1,000 emails in one day, or Adam Smith gets 500 in one day, it's not all of you going to email him, but if, because say for instance this video only gets 500 views in 4 or 5 days, let's say 10% of you of them 500 email Barney Francis and Adam Smith. That, trust me, is a big difference. That's a big difference. Right, let's come to end. Had a bit of a problem there with digital Zoom, but let's have a look. Where were we up to then? Yeah, so I can't start this revolution on my own. I'm going to need your help. The hardcore fans. It's a small minority of fans. There's about 30,000 hardcore fans in the country. You know, and there's roughly about 5% of them 30,000 are watching my channel now, and probably 10%, there's probably about 150 people who actually work in the boxing industry who follow my channel, and half of them are probably the ones who send me abuse. You know, your Steffi Bulls and the rest of them. blah de blah. But bottom line is this: if Eddie Hearn's going to put great fights on, it will be a first. I will be first to tell him, and I'll say well done. But as regards hardcore fans, Ring Magazine has 30,000 subscribers. Now, out of them 30 subscribers, as I've just said, 1,400 follow me. That's about 5% nearly, innit? Right? Where's the rest of them? Where's the rest of these hardcore fans who buy Ring Magazine and Boxing News? As I said, I don't want to whine on about it. Sound like a broken record lately. Can't do it on my own. So what I'm going to do in a minute, when I've gone through these, I'm up to 47. Once we get to 66, I'm going to put these videos out over the next few days. This week we're going to be done with it. Then we're going to get back to what's best of boxing, because as I've said, we've done our bit, and fans have done your bits as well. We're going up against an hurricane, and we're like a fart in a hurricane, aren't we? Yeah, we do matter, but not to them. It's about money, innit? But like I said, if Eddie puts great fights on, I'll be first to congratulate him. Eddie started off as a decent lad, didn't he? But somewhere along the line, he became like John Gotti, didn't he? You know, when John Gotti were a gangster, he became like John Gotti when he became the godfather at Gambino crime family. John Gotti, as tough as he was and as hardcore as he was, and he never ratted, did he? You've got to give that man respect. He made a fundamental mistake. He fell in love with himself, didn't he? Because the business he were in, La Cosa Nostra, a lot of people don't know La Cosa Nostra, the mafia, it means, La Cosa Nostra in Italian means this thing of ours. But he made it a thing of everybody's, didn't he? Now, and I think Eddie Hearn's made that mistake. Somewhere along the line, he fell in love with himself. He's on IFL every week doing 400,000 views. That's a man in love with himself. He goes to press conferences. He's doing more interviews than the boxers. Why? Yeah, he's promoting, but I think there's a promoting overload, isn't there? There's a promoting overload. He fell in love with himself, with his teeth and his hair transplant and his Tom Ford sunglasses. Fell in love with himself when really he needs to be concentrating on the boxing. But who am I? Who am I, Russ Hartley, from Doncaster, a former criminal, ex-convict, ex-druggie, a general nobody, a no-mark? Who am I? A general, probably a dickhead with a camera, a fat dickhead with a camera. Who am I to tell Eddie Hearn about boxing? He's been fetched up with it. But I think he's took his eye off the ball. He's spread himself too thinly, trying to dominate all over the world and taking as much money as he can. Is he doing all this so he can bail out when Joshua goes? That's what I think so. People in the industry are saying that he's getting as much money as he can, because when Joshua goes, he knows it's not going to get this good again. Eddie's a realist, but he's took his eye off the ball and he's let things slip through his fingers. For example, what's he doing with Callum Smith? I mean, where's Callum Smith going? He had to put him in a tournament just to get him out there. Where's Callum Smith going now? He's on about going and fighting Kovalev. He'll get beat against Kovalev, I think. Where's Callum Smith going? He's not being hit yet. Who has hit Callum Smith? Who? He took his eye off the ball. If he hadn't took his eye off the ball, why is Amir Khan and Kell Brook not fighting? It's on his lap. They're in the same stable. Why are they not fighting? Why is Joshua having to go out to America and go on all these TV shows and sports magazine shows like ESPN? Why? Because he's took his eye off the ball. His ego got the better of him. He fell in love with himself. If he were a bar of chocolate, he'd eat himself. It's just my opinion. Wilder Joshua, Fury Joshua, they've not happened, have they? Kell Brook, Amir Khan. It's not happened, has it? It's not happened. Joshua Buatsi, Jose Burton. That's not happened. Frank Buglione, Joshua Buatsi. That's not happened. Buatsi Yarde. That's not happening, is it? Why? Why is it not happening? Why? Chinks are starting to appear in the background. But like I said, and I've said it before, I've done my bit. I can't do it on my own. For boxing to change, it's going to need a movement, as I've said. Proper movement. But when we get round to these questions in a minute, I'm going to give you some email addresses. We've gone over that bit about paid for billboards. We've done that. We've done pull-ups. We've done videos. We're having a go, aren't we? We're going to do a live event. We've gone through that. Down to business and all this. Madison Square Garden, we've gone through that. Mr. Bean, the company man, Johnny Nelson, Spencer X. They can wheel them out all they want. They've all been very quiet this last 3 or 4 days, haven't they? The Americans are a bit naive though, aren't they? But they're easily bought. See, money talks in America. They call it the American dream, but what is the American dream? It's money. Dan Rayfield, plenty to say about Eddie Hearn, but when he's in his company, like a little puppy dog, isn't he? Like a little puppy dog. The UK fans have ran Joshua and Eddie Hearn out of country. For example, let's say he beats Miller. Where does he go then if Tyson Fury rematches Wilder for a third fight? Who's he going to fight after Miller? Tom Schwartz? Do me a favour! Eh? I'm filming, stop interrupting me. She'll like that one. But the Americans are naive in my opinion. But like I said, Joshua's been kicked out of England, hasn't he? But the fans need to wake up. I mean, oh, this is the one I've been waiting for. This is the one. This is the best one, this one. This is the best one. Let me have a look. I think I saved this. I think, oh please tell me I saved it. Yes! Are you ready for this one, boys and girls? Let me see if I've got enough time left. Yeah, right. Are you ready for this one? Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant, this one. This is brilliant. Right, this is brilliant. This is Eddie's own fault. This is his own fault. I forgot the kid's name who put this on Twitter. Somebody sent me it. What's his name? Nah. It don't matter, but listen to this. Listen to this. Right, I'm going to read you out Joshua's. In fact, I'm going to do this in a video on its own. It is that good. Right. Obviously, I'm going to batter it this week and then we're going to leave it. But let's carry on with these. I'll come back to that. Joshua Miller. Oh, the Chinese guy, the Japanese guy. Still terrorising me, Chen J. Terrorising me. The Japanese guy. WBO number 8. Fujimoto. Now I've been told that he's 20-1 he is, 21 fights, 1 loss. He's the backup guy I've been told. For Miller if he gets injured. Fujimoto. Now Miller's not going to get injured with 7 million on table. He'll turn up and take a loss for 7 million because he'll never get that opportunity again. It's life-changing money. That is life-changing money. Fujimoto is going to be part of a world tour apparently. That's just the talk. But it's Pulev next. You're going to have mandatories. Pulev, probably Dillian White, or Dillian White, Pulev. That's going to take you to end of 2020, maybe 2021, before Tyson and Wilder. So what's Joshua going to do? Trish Dixon said Joshua's going to be like a big ocean liner that's too big for the harbour and he's going to run aground on shore. Probably because the price of the sales out, they want too much money. Share the love, Joshua. Spread the money. Yeah, you sell loads of tickets. But so what? You've got to have opponents. Them fans will soon turn off unless they are not only gimps and casuals, they are super casuals or super gimps. But what about Miller or Pulev? What if they get injured? Fujimoto, let me tell you. But why don't they just go pay Dillian White what he wanted? But I'm going to go with Miller next, and then Pulev. And then Fujimoto as a substitute for both. That's what I'm going to go for next, I'm afraid. That's what I'm going to go for next. We've covered the De Gale mess, haven't we? We've covered the De Gale mess. And I want to say a quick thank you to the lads at Boxing. The lads at Boxing Asylum, they've done 310 shows. Now they do one a week, don't they? So